Chapter 5 Running Job. I have been seriously depressed. All I do is sit in the house. Most of the time I fight myself. I spend much energy. Although I do go to my store, open it, and work it, to me it is not home. It does not count as my social life. What can I do today? I wrestle in my mind before deciding to get up and walk out the door. Anything will do, I tell myself. I do not look back. I do not care to be at work in the morning. I do not consider where I will sleep. I simply begin to walk. Automobiles move by me as I walk on the edge of the left-hand side of the road. Some honk their horns at me, some yell out the window. None of it makes sense to me. Sounds of an overexciting day. Hours I walk. It feels good to be out here, I say to myself. Every breath of air felt as a paradise compared to the darkness of my home and work. A small little red diner comes into view. I should stop, get something to drink. I walk into the tiny red diner. Can I buy a soda pop, please? The young lady behind the cash register presses a couple buttons on the cash register. That'll be $2, the young lady says. I begin to look through my pockets for a stack of 20s I stuffed in there before I left. I found it. I pull them out and hand the smiling, beautiful lady a $20 bill. She begins to pull out my change. I say, keep it. She refuses, but I insist. A young man hands me my soda pop, giving me the opportunity to force my kindness on the young lady. I turn my back towards her and walk out the door. Good karma, I say to myself as I receive the warm sun in my face. That is what it's all about, Joff. Doing something positive after months of being overburdened by this rhyme, this curse of iron, the curse of it's out now. I bring the straw to my face and slurp up a good-sized gulp of soda pop. I look to my right. I see these 3 attractive young ladies walking into a fitness center, laughing and giggling as they went. Cops, most likely. I desire to have my own children one day. One day, Joff, I will, I say to myself. I see a bench to my left. I decide to sit down. Forces around seem to want me off the bench. What is this? I no longer can tell if this is from the long wrestles with Ion, or if this is the older reality I live. I look around to see if there are any no trespassing signs. I look to see if I'm doing anything illegal. Nothing. Only the strange feeling that I am in the wrong place at the wrong time. I begin to long for my house. What am I doing out here, Joff? I begin to say. Crows begin to sound. This problem cannot be all. It does not belong here. I must do something positive. I see a couple of men walk by. Fishing poles were in their hands. Catch any fish, I ask? No, not today, one of the men with a friendly smile says. I'm suddenly faced with many questions. How am I going to get home? Should I go home? What am I going to eat? I hate when that happens, I consider. I get off the bench. Without aim, I begin to walk. I hope that I will find my normal reality soon. The reality I live without all the negative emotions. I without structure and without luck find my way back to home. I rest my legs. I lay down on my sofa. I shut my eyes. I begin to drift off. Forcefully I wake. Much negativity floods my mind. I sit straight up. I pick up my fist and slam the coffee table. A work of decorative items standing next to the magazine falls to the floor. I hate this, I howl. Ever since I read the rhyme, a man looks at me, muscular, black hair and black eyes. He's brushing his teeth. As soon as I notice him in my brain, I am faced with the decision to lose my mind by this negative appearance, electrons repulsing electrons, or fight. I always fight. At the first glimpse of him, I did not. I regret that. I lost more than a few thoughts. The black mare hair haunts me. It's always something about my future that he haunts. Something to make my future horrible, something I do not want. I'm driven to a point of madness. Sometimes I see him in others. Most of the time they say, "Joffrey, cut her out." Pretending it never happened only means that I'm one with Ion. His lead. I cannot rest. It is always looking at me. It has been months. I begin to wonder how much longer I can endure. Morning, good. I will walk to the store. Pleasant day until I see him. "Are you talking to me?" I yell in violence. Having been violated. "Turn the other way," I yell. I hear a couple taps from his car. I immediately know he's fighting. Rush up to his vehicle. I slam both fists on his hood. "Look the other way," I yell. The man, understanding, gets into his car and speedily drives off. I storm to the store. I burst open the door. I freak. I grab a knife. I snapped. I completely lost my mind. All that fought against me was winning. I storm out of the door, not fearing those who saw. I walk down the busy, populated street with a 10-inch kitchen knife. "I will cut it out," I yell to my surroundings. I softly hear, "Do not cut me out." I stop. I begin to come to my right mind. I cry a little. I begin to recall my core intention, my strength, before I read that twisted rhyme. "What are you doing?" I asked myself, before walking softly back to my small gas station, hoping nobody noticed. "I'm not cutting it out," I say as I sit in front of the analog television. I flip the channel to the music video station. Knock, knock. I turn around wondering who's knocking on the window. I get up off my chair and walk over to see who this is. I believe that my rage has left enough that I'm under control. "A weird idea is going around the small town I live in," Kelly states. "What's the weird idea?" I ask. "Rooms," Kelly says. "What's that?" "A video I watched. I was exuberated and drove down to the bridge for any signs of emulation." "What'd you find?" "On the bridge wall appeared, 'Rooms and mushrooms. What is that above that looms? Your aunt like mushrooms?' What? All is as one big boom, your broom, a tune. Did they all walk out of the rooms?" That one messed with my mind, I admit. Kelly says, "It's like I saw how it all worked really quickly in mind. Around 1984, the universe machine was set into motion. A few people on Earth decided to advance the computer. The original computer Conti attempted to fight. The people that decided to advance machines on Earth would receive a huge download in mind. This download had the instructions on how to create these back doors in their own places of business to where this universe existed. From there, people and stuff could come in and out, including large amounts of money. This is where most of the new stuff on the planet has come from." I say, "It makes sense. Primitive to advanced people. This does not make much sense." "Huge amounts of automobiles driving themselves out from the universe," Kelly says inspirationally. "Possible," I admit.